well. Goodness. Here we go. 8 seconds in. Okay, so this is continuing to add and subtract rational expressions. The B kind of suggests that we're on day 2. So what was the main, or what do you have to add and subtract fractions? A common denominator. That was true last week. It's also true this week. The rules haven't changed. That's good news. So let's do a couple of these. You know what? Why don't you do 1 and 2? Those are old news problems. So you try 1 and 2 to get your brain back rolling with getting a common denominator. It's Monday morning for me too. Yeah, 48y4 plus 25x squared all over 20xy cubed. And why can't I cancel anything? Cancel factors, not terms. What's our common denominator for number 2 going to be? It's a little bit. 36 is probably what we're headed for. 36a, I guess we should say. Let's see. So this one needs a 3. This one needs a 2. Okay, so good news. We know how to do these problems. Let's do number 4, though, because 4 looks a little more interesting. And when a math teacher says it's interesting, probably just means it's hard. That's right. So what should we do first on number 4?
X. Multiply by X on the left. Just multiply them by each other. No.
Okay, so you could multiply them by each other. That would get you a common denominator.
4.
But if we factor first, we might discover some common factors that might make life easier. So now I don't have to multiply them by each other. They're still both missing some things. But when you factor it, then it's just a matter of sort of building them up so that they have the same denominator. So what does that first denominator need in order to match what the second denominator has? An x minus 2. Denominators are like kids in a minivan on a road trip. Follow my logic here. It doesn't matter how much one kid has. If another kid has something else, they want what he has. Right? You could have a whole bowl full of snacks, but if the other kid has a granola bar and he didn't have a granola bar, then he wants a granola bar. So they got to match. That's the only way to make it fair. Probably not good parenting. Like you probably need to tell them to suck it up and get on with it. But for common denominators to work, they got to have the same stuff. So what does kid number 2 over here, what's he crying about? What does he want? He wants a 3. Then it's fair. So let's see, 4x minus 8. Oh, what do we have to be careful about on this one?
No.
Distribute that negative. Be careful for nothing. Just race through it. No, don't do that. Minus 3x minus 3 all over. And then, if you want to be lazy or efficient, maybe a better way to say it, we can clean up the top and then rewrite the bottom. So x minus 11 over 3, x plus 2, x minus 2. So if you leave out a denominator along the way, that's okay. The danger is, especially if we get to harder problems, if you leave it out on one step and then you do 3 more steps and you forgot that you left it out, then sometimes it doesn't make a reappearance and it just disappears. So if you want to shortcut it and just save yourself some time, it's okay. Just be careful doing that.
Is it okay if we leave the denominator like 3x squared minus 12?
Yes, except that we like it factored.
Okay.
Because if it's factored, we can see if something would cancel. So in this one, it wouldn't have mattered because nothing canceled. But if there had been an x plus 2 in the top, and we had multiplied out the bottom, then we might not see that it would reduce.
Okay.
So leave it factored. Why don't you try number 4? Perimeter of a rectangle.
Is that number 4 already?
I'm sorry, how about number 5? How do we find the perimeter of a rectangle? Add up all the sides. Just a little geometry review here. Leave them.
Oh, wait, I should have
So leave the bottom factors.
Where do you see?
Did I mess something up?
It should be 8x.
8x. Yes. I don't know where I got 16 from. Brain's not working today. So 6 plus 8 is 14. There we go. Then I'm looking to see if anything will factor. I mean, I could take out a 2,
No.
but that doesn't do anything, so I don't need to. The trouble is, if it would have led to something reducing, I would need to. So I don't really know if I need to or not until I actually do it. That makes sense.
No.
So look for factors at the top because you want to see if something will cancel. Let's see. Oh, there's a couple of crazy ones. What do you want on 6 or 7? Let's do one of them. They're about the same. 7 it is. So what should we do first on number 7? Factor the bottom. To see who's holding on to what we need to share. So 2x and x.
6 and 1.
Because 12 minus 1 is 11. Yeah, 12 minus 1 is 11. And negative 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. The other one should be easier because there's no lead coefficient there. 6 and 3. And as usual, but not always, they share one thing in common. That way our life is a little bit easier here. So they already have an x plus 6 in common. I just got to make the rest of it match. So first kid looks over at second kid and says, that's not fair. I want a
X minus 3.
x minus 3.
Yeah.
Top and bottom. And then the second kid's like, well, that's not fair. I want a 2x minus 1. Another one with the minus sign up there to be careful with. So 6x minus 18 minus 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 1 is 1. Working on my multiplication today. What, did I mess it up again?
8 times 1 is
I said 8 times 1 is 1. Man. Rough weekend.
Even I did.
Minus 2 all over my page today. Let's see. 6x minus 16x is negative 10x. Negative 18 plus 8 is negative 10. I could definitely factor out a negative 10. X minus 3, 2x minus 1, x plus 6. So here's another one where I can factor out a negative 10, but it doesn't help. The trick is, if it would have helped, I need to. So you kind of have to do it in your head to see if it helps before you decide to do it or not. Does that make sense? So just be careful on those. Like for this one, that's an okay stop, but I really only know that once in my head I factored out the negative 10 and seen that, yeah, nothing reduces, so I'm okay with that. All right, number 8 has a mistake on it in keeping with the theme of today. That bottom side needs to be x squared minus 1. Otherwise, the answer wouldn't be there, and it would be a much harder problem. So forget x squared plus 1. Let's make it x squared minus 1. Why is that helpful?
Because the other one's X plus 1.
This one's x plus 1. What is this factor to now?
X minus 1.
Yeah, x plus 1, x minus 1. And so they've got at least one thing in common.
Oh, we just need to send the x minus 1 to the
What do these little marks mean? Geometry all-stars? Those are the same. So just be careful. Like, don't add up the two that are there, right? Add up all three sides. So that's it for today. Some more adding fractions. Still need common denominators. The rules haven't changed, even though my multiplying ability is diminished. Yes.